Hello, we're here today to tell you about Modified Role. What you're about to hear are real-life testimonies of people who have been affected by Modified Role. None of the people you're about to hear are paid actors. I mean, they are actors, but we're not paying them.
Before I found Modified Role, I never knew of the foe that plagued humanity for generations, Rivers.
Before Modified Role, I didn't know there were dice with more than 6 sides.
Well, before I found Modified Role, I thought fantasy role-playing was something you did in the bedroom.
Before Modified Role, I didn't know rolling dice could be so dangerous.
Before Modified Role came along, I couldn't tell the difference between a D20 and a tennis ball. Needless to say, it's changed my life.
Before Modified Role, I was shocked when someone would offer to show me their minis.
So, with so many lives changed through Modified Role, don't you think it's time you gave it a try?
Modified Role has not been proven to improve life in any measurable metric and cannot be held responsible for any detrimental impact caused by listening to the podcast.
Modified Role takes no responsibility for the loss of bards, dwarves, or animal companions.
Welcome one and all to Merely Roleplayers, where theatrical people play role-playing games. My name's Matt, I am your compere for this season, and around the table with me are Helen.
Hello.
Natalie.
Hello.
Ellen.
Hi.
And subject of today's Backstage episode, Strat.
Hi.
Veteran of various seasons.
6, it turns out.
Yeah, do you want to take us through which ones those were?
Yeah, so I was in Series 1 in Ariadne. I keep saying Adriana, I don't know why. The Ariadne. Then I was in Season 3, Town Called Amnesty. Then the next one would have been Mosaic, where I was tank top. I'm still so pleased with that. That was a drunken cocktail bar chat with Dave that got me to that. Thank you, Dave. Then Parallax Inverted. Then Upstaged.
Thank you, points for pronunciation.
Thank you. And then most recently in Prospero, and I ran Sky Pirates.
Of course, yeah.
Cloud Skipper. So there, but don't have a sheet for that one.
Yes, yeah, you have knowledge, but
Yeah.
you were no version of Strat himself was in there.
No.
Maybe you had a self-insert somewhere in a bar that nobody got to meet.
Yeah, I was just at a table.
So, with a lot of seasons to choose from, maybe this is a difficult question, but is there a particular season that sticks with you? Are there particular moments or characters or events that stand out to you as memorable still?
I mean, there are loads. We've already mentioned me caving in a man's skull, which, for good or worse, seems to have become...
That man had a name. He was called Vance Rafferty.
Yeah.
He was a prick, though.
That is still quite a painful memory.
Yeah, so that was a Town Called Amnesty.
Yeah.
Yes, and I recognise it as a painful memory, which is why I brought it up again in Prospero and Viola to torture you with.
Yes, you're very kind and giving here. No, I mean, it was quite a moment, as we've already discussed in that, so it makes sense that one would have been one of the ones that came back to haunt me. Alex, the Bovril stealer from Season 1.
Yes. An icon.
Absolutely. He did it. Don't believe a word he says. That man is a beef liquid thief.
We actually have had a discussion about the proper appellation for a description of what Bovril actually is.
Oh, yeah.
We've decided that it's beef treacle.
Yeah, beef treacle. Yeah, yeah. That sounds as disgusting and horrendous and abhorrent as it is. So, well done, beef treacle.
Sounds like a nickname. Right, beef treacle.
Pity your friends.
I have to call Alex that. Another one that we've kind of touched on was Helen's rescuing of me in Mosaic. I was really pleased that all panned out, because I had the idea and it was all going to come down to a particular role. I remember saying, I don't want to say this before I roll, because if I put it out there and I don't get to do it, I'll be really annoyed. So I'm really pleased that the dice were kind on that one, and I got to be whisked away. I mean, there were quite a few moments in kind of Parallax that was just a lot of fun, that whole series. I don't think there was a particular moment that came up. Actually, I think, although maybe me attempting to fight, because my character was all like, yeah, let's go, and then absolutely failed when I tried to hit a guy on the head and Chris had to save me. That was quite funny.
You had to be schooled by your master.
I did.
I loved your dynamic with Chris in that. It was so much fun to listen to, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad we decided to do that. I remember I messaged him like, hey, I've got an idea. Can we both be mystics, and can you be the mystic in control? I'll be your apprentice. I'm glad you went with that. That was good fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're an alien in that one.
And proper alien. And no one knew what I was, where I was from. Weird, wobbly, thought he was very elegant alien. I remember now, with everything slightly just out of place. You looked at him and went, something's wrong, but I can't put my finger on it. And he won't be able to put his finger on it because he has terrible hand-eye coordination. And then in the most recent one, my disintegration was pretty memorable.
Pretty memorable, yeah.
Yeah.
I found it sad.
Yeah, it was a hard choice to decide to do that. I remember, we had a bit in the episode. Thank you for editing it, because it sounds like I was very courageous and made that decision. I was like, yes, I will sacrifice myself. But in real life, there was a good 10-15 minutes of other stuff going on with me sitting there going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Yeah, all right then. Because if your games master gives you the opportunity to find out what happens, what's behind the curtain, and save your friends, then I think you'd have to take it. So that was good.
I think there's a few moments on this podcast where, for the audience's benefit, I really wish that there was a webcam watching us.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Chris, Josh, and my faces when you were doing that, we were all just like, what is happening?
Yeah, and that was nice as well, because I kind of got to bring in the flavour from Mosaic as well, and kind of have that all kind of same situation happen again, but with a different twist. Which,
the stuff I'd been bringing in gave you all permission to make callbacks.
Yeah.
So it was nice that you ran with that.
Yeah, that felt good. And then it felt like that was almost like a proto thing of what all the other guys got to do with rebuilding the ship and all that sort of stuff. It was really cool how they discovered it in a completely different way that was far more powerful, and they got it. we didn't. We were the idiots that stumbled on it and almost got killed by lava.
But that image, because we were presented with the sort of silhouette of you pointing up at the sky and dissolving.
Yeah, what did you think? What did you actually think had happened?
I have no idea.
Did
but
the group as a whole think? Because I did wonder, that was really you didn't get any of the audio. It was just pointing and disappearing. I was kind of intrigued what your.
I think it was Dave did actually nail it. He was maybe or got closest. I think he said something like maybe he became a helicopter.
Yes, he did say that, didn't he? Yes. Yes, hit a bit of me. I was like, I missed a trick there.
I'm thinking of you sort of Thomas the Tank Engine style. With the eyes.
Because I think it felt like for the Viola crew that the main revelation for them from that moment was Strat is really gone. We're not going to find him here. And that was kind of relevant. That was the relevant information to their plot.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas what you'd actually done was obviously more relevant to yours.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot.
There is.
If you had to pick one season that is the most memorable, which do you think it would be?
Oh, see,
it's the disadvantage of having lots of them.
Indeed, I've gone last to try and give myself some time, but I don't know. I think it's either going to be Amnesty or Ariadne.
Really?
Probably. Just in terms of memorable moments.
I'm really surprised by those.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
I was thinking you were going to say Parallax.
Oh.
But then you weren't great in that. So if you were going to load that up, we'd be like, great,
oh no,
thanks, Richard.
Yeah, it'd be really good plus on Alien.
We'll do over here.
But then there's also Codename, which was very useful.
But that's not what you're being asked.
No, I know. This is horrible. I've got to get out. I think.
I mean, certainly the first one that seemed to come to your mind was accidentally killing Vance Rafferty.
I think it's got
Amnesty.
I think it's got to be that one.
Yeah, we've kind of obviously it's partly memorable because I have brought it back, and so obviously it's going to be memorable because I sort of refreshed your memory about it in later seasons.
Yeah, but that also
it was quite foundational.
Yeah, and it also comes up outside of any Merely Roleplayers recording, just when we're in the pub and someone decides to, like I've actually done it. Like, you can't trust him, he killed a man.
Yeah, it's on the list of worst things you've ever done, even though you didn't do that.
Yeah. So
Strat doesn't do a lot of bad things, that's why there is a list. Just to be clear, I'm not really a stone cold anything.
The paperwork there says blunt too.
So give yourself a +1 on Town Called Amnesty.
Yeah.
Your cowpoke persona.
Mm-hmm.
Of the seasons that you've done, is there one that you would want to revisit in another session? Either because you've got regrets or unfinished business, or because you
Can't bring him back to life.
or because you feel like there's just more to explore in that world.
Cloud Skippers, simply because I do want to explore, and also I would.
You haven't got a sheet for that, so you can't pick that in this situation.
No, I know, but
yes,
I also like to play in that world. But Parallax, it's going to be Parallax or Mosaic.
Why those two?
Mosaic because I left the cliffhanger, and I would like to see what actually panned out with that, and like lots of the not just me, but lots of the characters kind of went their own little ways. Like I got out of it, and other people kind of covered stuff up, and it feels like there's everybody coming back for one last mission kind of story to tell there. Where someone comes and tries to recruit me, I'm like, no, I'm out. I got out, and they get me back in somehow. We need someone on the outside. Off the grid. So there's that, and then for Parallax, again we were left with this. There's a big old AI trying to take over the universe, and also there was that character had a lot of stuff that it didn't know or understand about itself that could have been found out, and obviously was on a path. Well, I think if I remember correctly, Chris's backstory was he wanted to take over the Mystic Order, and I was like,
I think you were the Anakin to his Darth Sidious.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
Yeah, it turned out we were Sith, not Jedi. So there's that to go with as well. So I think out of those two, I would Parallax. There's more going on there.
Okay, well, a +1 to Parallax then. And then
Aliens coming back.
It can all change in the quickfire round.
Yeah.
Which Strat is the closest to you, real Strat, and which is the furthest away?
So closest to me would be Ariadne. I think just because it was the first season and we were really being ourselves,
close,
and so that one just happened to be. Yeah.
I'm surprised by that again.
Really?
Yeah.
Who do you think is most likely?
Upstaged.
Well, that was the or. Yeah, Upstaged, and again because it was
we were a theatre company.
The silliest, the most competitive.
That's a very good point.
You're the boss. It's your brain.
But I think, I think Ariadne.
Okay, give yourself a +1 to that one, and then which is the furthest away? Which was the biggest departure from your actual personality and self? It's interesting because obviously the Parallax one is a literal alien.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be the furthest away from who you really are.
No, it's kind of awkward and a little bit reckless. So it's kind of me. In not reckless, but in times I could just kind of go headlong into stuff without giving it complete thought, just seeing what happens. I think it might almost be. I think it might almost be the Prospero one of me as a magician, and I don't think that's how I would really be on an island. I don't think I'd be anywhere near that useful or concerned about Josh. No, love Josh. And also I wouldn't be able. I decided that in that one I would my character would try and compartmentalize everything, and I wouldn't not have done that. I'd have been far more like, there's a great big ship, what is going on? And I think I'd have been a little bit more panicky, and I kind of dealt with things a lot better there. Right. Plus, I'd have been terrified to, in real life, sacrificing myself. I would like to think I would, but I can't say for certain, because how would you know until you're in that situation?
Okay, well, give yourself a -1 on the Prospero and Viola sheet then.
Mm-hmm. So many sheets.
So many sheets, but what if there were more? So we've done 9 genres. Are there any others that we haven't visited that you wish we had or wish we would?
Horror and noir sound wonderful. Yeah. I totally agree with those guys. In times we spoke about having a superhero kind of genre. That's hard because they're superheroes. I always thought it'd be fun if we were kind of rubbish superheroes in a world with good ones. Yeah. And we were the kind of underdog, scrappy superheroes, which is kind of a bit of a trope that certain comics I think have played with and stuff. I like some sort of magic one, not high fantasy, because I think you're right, there are other systems that do that, and that's not what we're doing here. Not necessarily like a Harry Potter one, a world where magic is real, but it doesn't have to be high fantasy, so just because I can be a wizard. That sounds fun.
I want to be a wizard, please.
Can I be a wizard?
So much emotional baggage.
Still waiting for my letter.
Yeah. Every time I see an owl. Sorry, that was a visual joke, which will not play well on podcast. I did a face. Those. And also, I had thought of one, but maybe it was not that that important after all, because I forgot. Oh, like a gangster kind of setup. I don't know if we would be the gangsters or be like the people trying to get rid of gangsters. I don't know. That sort of genre has always entertained me. I think. Don't know how I would do that.
Works quite well with noir, I guess.
Yes, I guess that is kind of opposite side of that particular genre coin, isn't it?
All right. Well, maybe we'll see some of that today. Maybe we'll get to it some other time. In the meantime, Strat, you ready to play?
Yeah. With Helen, Ellen, Matt, Stratton, Nat. It's been going round in my head all morning.
You've been listening to Merely Roleplayers. In this season, you'll hear Ellie Pitkin, Alex Pankhurst, Josh Yard and Dave, Chris Starkey, Chris Buxey and Chris, Helen Stratton, Ellen Gould, Natalie Winter and Strat, all playing various versions of themselves, along with special guest appearances by Ellie Pitkin as Nia and the Space Jam Continuum podcast's Chris McLennan as Candice. I'm Matt, and I edited and produced the season, wrote and performed the theme music, and designed and ran the game we're playing. Like most of our games, this one's powered by the Apocalypse. You can find more games in this genre at apocalypse-world.com/pbta. If you enjoy Merely Roleplayers, let us know with a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or wherever you do your listening. You can also find us on Twitter at Merely Roleplay, at facebook.com/merelyroleplayers, and at merelyroleplayers.com. Merely Roleplayers is an independent production in association with Blackshaw Theatre Company. Join us for more drama next episode.